Have you ever stood in an empty field or walked through a silent forest and felt the strange sensation that you are not entirely alone? That the ground beneath your feet holds memories of things long past? Now imagine that feeling, but on a colossal scale. Imagine entire cities, bustling with life, powered by sophisticated empires with their own kings, artists, and engineers. Then, imagine them gone, not just conquered and rebuilt, but utterly abandoned, their stories erased by sand, jungle, and time. These are the forgotten empires, kingdoms that vanished with barely a trace, leaving behind only whispers and riddles for us to decipher. Today, we are going to journey to the edges of the map and the cracks in history to explore three such enigmatic civilizations. We will venture into the heart of the Cambodian jungle, across the stark plains of Central Asia, and into the swirling mists of the North Atlantic. Their disappearance was so complete that for centuries, the world forgot they ever existed. But the stones remember. And if we listen closely, they have a story to tell. Our first story begins not with a whisper, but with a roar that was silenced for over 400 years. Deep within the steamy jungles of Cambodia, a monument of staggering ambition lay hidden from the outside world. It was the 19th century when French explorer Henri Mouhot, hacking his way through the dense vegetation, stumbled upon something that defied belief. Towering stone spires pierced the canopy, immense faces gazed serenely from tangled roots, and vast galleries of intricate carvings told stories of gods and kings. This was Angkor Wat, the heart of the forgotten Khmer Empire. At its peak between the 9th and 15th centuries, the Khmer Empire was the most powerful civilization in Southeast Asia. It was not a collection of isolated temples, but a sprawling, sophisticated metropolis called Angkor, possibly the largest pre-industrial city in the world. The Khmers were masters of engineering, constructing an elaborate network of canals, reservoirs, and barrages, massive artificial lakes that tamed the monsoon rains and allowed for multiple rice harvests each year. This agricultural surplus fueled an empire of grandeur, capable of building monuments like Angkor Wat, a temple complex so vast it is considered the largest religious structure on Earth. The empire's god-kings presided over a court of immense wealth, its influence stretching across modern-day Thailand, Vietnam, and Laos. But then, something happened. By the 15th century, the heart of the empire began to beat more slowly, and then it stopped. The great city of Angkor was abandoned to the jungle. For centuries, the leading theory was a sudden, violent invasion by the neighboring Ayutthaya kingdom. But modern archaeology suggests a more complex and haunting story. It seems the very engineering that made the empire great may have also led to its downfall. Core samples from the earth reveal that the Khmer's brilliant water management system eventually faltered. A series of prolonged droughts, followed by intense monsoons, may have overwhelmed the canals and reservoirs. The system became clogged with sediment, leading to catastrophic flooding and a collapse of the agricultural base. The ecological stress, combined with the shifting sands of regional power and religious change, likely caused a gradual migration away from the capital. The jungle did not violently conquer Angkor. It patiently, inexorably absorbed it, swallowing the streets and palaces until only the stone skeletons of its greatest temples remained, waiting silently in the green gloom. Now, let us travel from the humid jungle to the vast, windswept steppes of Central Asia. Here, under an endless sky, an empire rose that was so feared it prompted the construction of the only man-made structure visible from space. Centuries before Genghis Khan, united the Mongol tribes, another nomadic confederation held sway over the grasslands, the Xiongnu. From around the 3rd century BC, the Xiongnu were the nightmare of settled China. They were masters of horse archery, a whirlwind of lightning raids and tactical brilliance that could appear from the horizon and vanish just as quickly. Their mobility was their strength, and their empire was not one of stone cities, but of felt tents and loyal tribes. The Xiongnu were such a formidable threat that the first emperor of a unified China, Qin Shi Huang, began connecting and fortifying earlier walls into a massive defensive barrier, the earliest version of the Great Wall of China. This was a direct response to the Xiongnu menace. For generations, the Han dynasty in China was locked in a desperate struggle with these nomadic lords, resorting to paying them tribute, offering princesses in marriage, and launching massive military campaigns into the treacherous steppe, often with disastrous results. The Xiongnu Empire was a real, powerful political entity with a Xiongnu, or king, who commanded the allegiance of countless tribes. And then they vanished, not from a single cataclysm, but by fading into the landscape from which they came. By the 1st century AD, internal strife fractured the Xiongnu into southern and northern factions. Some groups were absorbed by the Han Chinese, others were defeated by rival nomadic tribes. The northern Xiongnu, after a series of defeats, simply drifted westwards, disappearing from Chinese historical records. Their disappearance is so complete that we have almost no written records from their own perspective. Everything we know comes from their enemies. Archaeologists face a unique challenge. How do you find an empire that built no cities? The Xiongnu left behind only their burial mounds, called kurgans, scattered across Mongolia and Siberia. Forget any preconceptions of isolated African kingdoms. Aksum was an international heavyweight, a naval power that controlled the Red Sea trade routes connecting the Roman Empire and India. Aksumite coins inscribed in Greek have been found as far away as India and Ceylon, a testament to their economic reach. Their capital city, Aksum, was a bustling metropolis of grand palaces and multi-story mansions. The Aksumites were brilliant engineers, carving incredible obelisks from single pieces of solid rock. These stelae, some over 100 feet tall and weighing hundreds of tons, served as monumental grave markers for the elite. The precision with which they were carved and erected rivals the engineering feats of ancient Egypt. Most famously, Aksum was one of the first major empires in the world to officially adopt Christianity in the 4th century, and it remains a deeply Christian nation to this day. This is a kingdom with a documented, influential history. So why is it on a list of forgotten empires? Because its decline was so profound that its very existence was largely erased from the collective memory of the Western world. Aksum did not disappear overnight, but a combination of factors led to its slow fade from prominence. The rise of the Islamic Caliphate in the 7th century gradually cut Aksum off from its lucrative trade networks in the Red Sea and the Mediterranean. Furthermore, climate change seems to have played a role again. Evidence suggests that centuries of aggressive agriculture may have led to deforestation and soil exhaustion, undermining the agricultural base of the kingdom. As its power waned, the political center of the kingdom shifted, and the magnificent city of Aksum was gradually abandoned. For centuries, while Ethiopia endured, the memory of its imperial predecessor, Aksum, was kept alive only in local tradition and in the pages of obscure texts. To the outside